let's try this one more time. Jesus Christ. Okay, so it turns out maybe it was just a YouTube bug. I looked it online and I changed in my Ethernet cable and it still got the same error message. So it's not to do with my internet, it's not to do with latency. It turns out that it might be a bug with YouTube. I looked online and it seems like people have a lot of people had this similar thing, but it seems like it's just a bug. So Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. But next time I'll continue using my Ethernet cable. I don't normally use it because we only have one. But oh my god, I'm sorry guys. I'm so stressed. I actually have something I want to talk about as well. Oh my god, thank you. Yokoto, I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's a bug. I restarted my computer and I... Oh, thank you. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Oh my god, I tried so hard. I'm such a shitty streamer. I'm so sorry. I will do better next time. Hi guys. Oh my god, I really wanted to chat with you guys about this one thing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know exactly if it's a bug. It seems like it's either a YouTube bug or like a OBS bug, and OBS does bug out a lot. I know it's not my computer because my computer is pretty good. But yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about specifically I think it was on Twitter yesterday or this morning. There's this hashtag that's trending, and I think it's like "gaikokujin ga kirai," like I hate foreigners or something like that, because President Biden made this speech and he talked about, like, someone asked him why is specifically China, India and Japan, why their economies not doing great right now. It might have been a few other countries as well, and his response was that they don't like immigrants, and therefore, like, if they had migrant workers to stimulate their economy, it would make it better, because like America is built on migrants. So yeah, like, and that sparked the hashtag, and I think that, like, it's like a whole bunch of things. Like, I think that, like, one, America should not be talking about the economy of other countries. Like, their economy isn't doing that well. A lot of things about America aren't doing well. However, I also think that, like, he does kind of have a point a little bit. And it was like, it sparked this debate where everyone's saying that Japanese people are, like, xenophobic. I just wanted to get you guys' like opinion on this. Glitch said, I paused my anime to be here. Thank you so much. Like, we had the longest trouble setting up this stream. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Biden thing. I kind of saw it, but I'm kind of overwhelmed to digest the info. Yeah, so, it caused, like, a lot of Japanese people are really angry. But, so, like, Twitter was just, my Japanese side of Twitter was just blowing up this morning. And, of course, like, a lot of foreigners are responding. A lot of the tweets were very disappointing, honestly. Oki said, for the food topic, my sister bought some small furikake packages. We will use them on onigiri. Oh, normally you just put that on rice. Like, you put it on onigiri, but normally it's like you have rice and something else, you just put it on the rice. I don't think people use it for anything else apart from just putting it on rice. But I think it tastes best when it's on onigiri, yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Calzone, like, we had, I think it ended up being a bug on YouTube side or on OBS, we're not sure yet. It wasn't my internet, it turned out. Yeah, we're both wearing our cat earphones. Hi, Luca. So yeah, so basically there was this big fuss on Twitter about Biden and what he said, and I just wanted to see you guys' opinion on it. Let me tell my Discord that I figured it out. So yeah, I have some opinions on this topic, but like, I think that like what he said wasn't, I don't know why he's talking on this topic anyways. Like, he should have just shut the hell up first of all. Like, like, obviously this was gonna piss people off. He just should have said, like, oh, everyone's doing their best, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why he decided to speak on this topic. However, a lot of the tweets were enlightening, if you've seen them. Men that all shouldn't be in power anyways, oh yuck. Yep, you got me there. Nia told us back up. Nia is incredible. Honestly, what would I do without Nia? David said the nature of immigration is to take something they need from where they are going, or why would they go, not to contribute. Yeah, like, the problem is like, a lot of the tweets from Japanese people are like, we're not xenophobic, we like foreigners just as long as you, like, wait, I'm trying to translate it in my head. Try to, like, as long as you, like, follow our rules. And I'm like, yeah, that's, like, I get it. Like, the thing is like, a lot of them said, like, my issue with this is, like, a lot of them were like, oh, it's just because, like, we don't hate foreigners, it's just, like, we're not xenophobic, but, you know, like, Japanese culture is so complicated, so, like, it's hard for foreigners to follow it. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Like, I don't really find Japanese culture to be, like, that hard to follow for living. It's not like, I feel like people, like, mystify it way more than it needs to be. So yeah, I don't really think that's the issue. And also, like, every konbini in my area, the staff are, like, Nepalese and Southeast Asian and Vietnamese, and, like, that's great, and their Japanese is great, and it seems like they're doing a good job. So, like, clearly Japan does need immigrants for some stuff, and, like, a lot of care homes, a lot of the workers are also migrants. So it's like, you do need immigrants also. It's a very, like, sore subject to talk about. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get that. If you follow their rules and societal expectations, it's not that bad. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing, isn't it? Ozzy Osan said Japan needs immigrants. Birth rate is us. Yeah, it's that as well. Like, honestly, my thing is as well is that, like, Japan claims to, like, not need immigrants and stuff like that, but, like, if you go anywhere, it's full of, like, Italian restaurants, Starbucks, American movies, like, all this, like, foreignness is just constantly consumed. But, like, there's people behind that, right? It's like, you're also consuming our culture, so, I mean, I don't know, it sits very weirdly for me. Calzone said, the few foreign co-workers I had in my izakaya were either Nepalese or Chinese. Yeah, there's a lot of Nepalese workers in Japan. And I was the only white guy. Lol. Little white boy. Japan needs migrants. Birth rate is us. Oh, sorry, I just read that one. It is true, though. Also, I noticed what kind of foreigner you are. It definitely affects your treatment, too. Yeah, here's another thing as well. I sometimes, like, now, when they think, like, gaikokujin, like, they tend to think, like, white people, maybe? I don't know. Like, is it that? Because sometimes they forget, like, I don't think that people understand how many migrants are already doing the jobs that people don't really want to do, like working in the konbini, working in old people's homes and stuff like that. So the economy is already being stimulated. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, we don't need foreigners. But it's like, well, you already do? Take away Italian food and the Japanese will be miserable. I want to visit Japan, but travel is so expensive. Yeah, right now flights are very, very expensive. Even without trying to fix the birth rate directly, you'd still need more people. Honestly, personally, I'm not sure if, like, I don't like the idea of, like, immigrants being used to up the birth rate. I don't know, the whole thing is so, like, eugenicsy for me, and, like, I hate any talk about birth rate, because as soon as birth rate comes up, online, there'll be a bunch of white guys, and they're like, yeah, I'll sort out the birth rate, just send me over to Japan, and that's, like, gross. And I see why, like, after reading that, I'm like, okay, maybe we should close the borders, joke. But yeah, I don't really like, it's like, for me it's more like the economy. And again, like, if you're gonna be using so much foreign media, foreign companies, blah 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 in Japan, then you should have migrant workers. Like, that's just, it's like give and take. Like, you can't just take all of this foreign stuff and then not have any foreign workers, in my opinion. Like, but if I could work and support myself, I would have moved to Japan or somewhere when I left my ex. I would be working societal member. I don't understand this taste. Yeah, like, because again, like, I go to so many izakaya and konbini where the staff are foreign, and they do a perfect job. Like, it's impeccable. Same thing black people face in America. People love your culture, but just not on you. Yeah, that is like a very similar thing. It's really, really sad, honestly. Base capsule body, thank you. Maybe it's time for degrowth anyways. Like, honestly, personally, I don't really care about the birth rate. I'm gonna be dead in like a few years, so like I couldn't care less about the furtherment of the human species, but I do care about the economy. And the birth rate kind of does affect me though. It affects all of us because by the time I'm of retirement age, most people in Japan are going to be old. Like, who's going to staff the old people's homes? It's just going to be like tons of geriatric people. They're going to suck the pension fund dry. I know by the time I'm of retirement age, there's going to be nothing in the pension fund, like, for sure. That's another thing that we're worried about. Like, all this pension that we're paying, are we going to get it back? Jokes on you, Japan. I'm ace. Yeah, another thing is, like, you can't like invite foreigners here and then ask us to breed. That's also not good. Like, let's not push that agenda. That's also kind of weird. Who's more likely to spend the support money? For real though, like, the thing is like, if you bring foreigners here, we're gonna make money and spend money in Japan. We're gonna bring money from our countries here and spend it. So, like, there's so many like students and workers here who get some money from overseas, and like, the salaries here are trash, so we're not sending money back home. Like, that's not possible. I think immigration is okay if they integrate into the culture of wherever. Setting up a little bubble and trying to turn the native population to be like you is a bad thing. Like, I agree somewhat, because like, there is that thing in Spain with like a lot of like British and German people going to Spain and like setting up like hubs of just them. But like, that's also incredibly hard to regulate. Like, it's like, I don't like the, oh, like, I don't mind immigrants as long as blah blah blah. It's like, okay, so if one, and I think this is a problem that's been happening recently on Twitter, is like, they'll be like, oh, there's this foreigner and they're sitting on the ground. Oh, I hate I don't want immigrants anymore. It's like, when you accept like a large amount of people into your country, there are going to be people who don't fit in. There are going to be people that commit crime. That's just, that's what happens, unfortunately. I'm ace and I'm looking forward to being a mom. You can be ace and you can be a mom. Let's do things. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, the population will have halved or something by then. For real though, and the worst part is that like, all these like smaller towns and villages in Japan, they're just slowly disappearing. Like, people, there's so many houses that are empty. There's so many towns that are literally just disappearing because the young people will move into the cities and the old people just die, and it ends up there's just like tons and tons of ghost towns, and it's really, really sad. Also, I think it's important to assimilate Japanese culture critically, like behaving politely but still maintaining your values. That's so true. Like, a lot of people think of it, and I think that like Japanese people also think that sometimes they're like, oh well, they can't be Japanese, and it's like, you don't have to be the nationality. You don't have to become a carbon copy of that nationality to live in that country. You can still be of benefit for that country. Like, I'm pretty Japanese in the sense that I cook Japanese food. I've worked in multiple Japanese offices, and I think I speak Japanese alright. So like, okay, but like, also, you don't need to do all of those things to like assimilate into society. Like, I don't even know what that means, like, by assimilating. Like, if you're working and paying taxes and you're not pissing anyone off, like, it shouldn't really matter. Like, growing up in England, a lot of my friends were like from Kenya and from Lithuania and places like that, and like they stayed very Kenyan and very Lithuanian, but they lived in England, and that was fine. Like, no one expected them to just like, but I mean, we do still have that mindset. There's a lot of people in England with the mindset of like, oh, like, immigrants, if they come here, they have to speak perfect English, they need to do this, they need to do that. It's like, okay, but like, why? Like, as long as they're like contributing in some way. David said, I can't believe how cheap Japanese countryside homes are. They are cheap, but also all of those need to be renovated like heavily, and a lot of them don't have air conditioners in, so it's like almost impossible to live in them in the summer and the winter. So actually a lot of them end up being more of a money sink, and like, I may move to the countryside in the future, but the issue is like, a lot of these houses is like, there's no bus nearby, there's like, even if you have a car, it's like miles and miles and miles to get anywhere where there's even like a supermarket. Like, I don't want to live in like absolute bumfuck nowhere. Angel said, remind me of the post with the Paris July girls just hating on foreigners. Oh my god, I forgot about this. I want to talk about this as well, because I tweeted about this a little bit, but there was like a TikTok of like these girls from Paris who wear July K, and I don't know, I didn't see the original video, but I think it's just them dancing, and they're all wearing like different styles of July K, and they were getting flamed by Japanese people on Twitter, like, ha ha ha, Paris, are you responsible for this? Oh my god, look at them, haha, like, saying that they looked messy. But the thing is like, July girls in Japan look messy. Like, that's the whole point, is like, they're the girls that go out drinking, they're the girls that go to host clubs. So the fashion itself is already messy. Second of all, like, fuck off. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I think there has been a spike in like xenophobia recently, and like, that's what I mean with like the thing that Biden said, and it really triggered a lot of Japanese commenters. And all the comments were like, I don't hate foreigners, but, and like blah blah blah. It's like, okay, it just made me really uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. Hi Aztec. Kazane said, yeah, it's a trap. Cheap, but the renovation costs are horrid. Yeah, because they're called Akia, and there are websites where you can look at Akia, but like, money sink a lot. Like, I've seen people that bought Akia and it ended up being a lot more expensive than just buying a regular house. So I would be very, very wary. And like, if you're buying property in any country that's like not your native one, there are a lot of laws that you might not be aware of. So before that, I would definitely look up laws and stuff like that. So yeah, you gotta be really, really careful. Living in the middle of nowhere sounds like a cottagecore dream, to be honest. It does, but Japanese countryside has a lot of bugs, and like, it's very, very humid, and the winter is very, very cold. So like, if you get one of these giant Ikea houses, you've then got to put aircon in every single room, and each aircon is like 60,000 yen at least. So it's gonna be really, really expensive. Sarah said, I'd be worried about the earthquake safety. That's a very good point. Like, a lot of these houses are really, really old and probably not up to like earthquake safety standards. That's also like another thing you gotta consider. Okay, good luck getting ready for college. Kumamoto slays. It's just enough countryside versus city. I've never been to Kumamoto. All I know is like Kumamon. I was thinking of moving to Nagano. So I've been looking at jobs a lot recently, like new jobs. I applied to some jobs yesterday, but there's a job that pops up like once a year, and it's for like a tour guide at the Snow Monkey Park in Nagano. And one day when I've had enough, I'm just gonna quit everything in here, and I'm gonna move to Nagano, and I'm gonna be a monkey park tour guide. I decided. David said, oh yeah, the bugs, okay, deal off. Like, for real, the bugs are huge in the Japanese countryside, like absolutely huge. There's a lot of bugs around my house that are dying already, and I'm not even so far in the countryside. Straw Bunny said, no hate at all, but a lot of Japanese people have such an obsession with Europe, specifically Paris. So it's like they want the influence of some countries, just not the people, and that's not possible. Oh my god, you're like really hitting it on the head. Is that my issue with this whole thing, and like people get really weird about Japan. And there was like, oh well, like Japanese people don't know because it used to be like an isolated country, and like Japanese people's culture is so pure, so we need to like not touch it. It's like, okay, but like, have you been to Shibuya or Shinjuku or any of these places? All it is foreign culture everywhere. Japanese people love foreign culture, particularly rich Japanese people. If you've ever been to a rich Japanese person's house, it's all like Rococo furniture, and it's super European, and they all wear like Italian clothes, and they all have like Chanel bags. It's very hyper focused on like foreignness, but again, none of these people know any foreigners, and they're not interested in knowing any foreigners. And a lot of them do learn English though, which is quite interesting. But like, I have people who come to English class and they're straight up like, I don't like foreigners. So like, I don't know, like there is a kind of like weird mindset around foreigners, which is sad. And like, I have it pretty lucky because like I am European and I'm a girl and I'm white, so it's like I feel like I see the best of people, and it's still not that great, like the mindset. I'm not saying that Japanese people are all xenophobic, I'm just saying that I've seen a little bit of xenophobia, not gonna lie. And you have to be really careful what you say. And here's another thing, is that, oh, Samurai, hi! Yeah, it ended up, I think it was a bug on YouTube. Here's the other thing, it's like, the last couple of weeks there have been like some tweets about like, oh, like the foreigners who were sitting on the bus step. I tweeted about that, and people were tweeting about sandwiches. And any like small thing where like, this thing is actually kind of better in my home country, you will get tons and tons of tweets where from Japanese accounts, and they will tell you to go back to your own country, and that they're pointing you to immigration, blah 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 blah, and all this stuff. And I had it a couple of weeks ago when I tweeted about the bus thing, like the foreigners sitting on the bus step, and I said, well, I think the Japanese buses could be designed a little bit better. There's not a lot of seating space. And I had a Japanese guy, tag the Ministry of Japan and try to get them to deport me. Like, that is wild. I'm sorry. And this happens a lot, so you have to be really, really careful. And this is why I don't talk about like, I don't have any extreme views on Japan. Like, I love living in Japan, but there are times when I'm like, it's kind of bureaucratic, like maybe this thing could be better. But you have to be so careful because, you know, there are a lot of nationalists, and they also have like hubs, and they call their friends, and they'll like, I don't know, I think it's on like 2chan or something, and they take your information and they share it around. So you have to be really careful. Like, I'm being really, really serious, guys. If you're like tweeting about Japan, if you live in Japan, and if you tweet like, oh, I think that like Japanese stuff is cool, but like actually in my country this is better, like you have to be careful, because a lot of these accounts will find you, and then they'll be like, they'll try and get you deported. It's happened to me like a bunch of times. Like, but last time it happened, someone mailed me and they're like, thank you so much for shining a light on this. Like, I didn't, you know, like, I'm too scared to speak publicly, so it's nice to see someone tweet. And they're like, they felt really sad because they said they feel like xenophobia has been really ramping up recently, and they're like, feel sad, and they feel like Japan doesn't want them. Honestly, I don't think that's the case. I feel like any country, the racist, ignorant people are just so loud. It seems like there's a lot of them, but honestly it's not that many. They just have multiple accounts on social media, and they talk a lot. And these people, this guy, he was like, and a lot of them were like quite aggressive. They're like, well, if I saw you sitting on the bus stop, I would kick you, and like stuff like that, like really immature stuff. Guarantee you, if this guy met me in real life, he would not look at me, he would not speak to me. So it's just like, a lot of it is just like social media bravado. But I'm just saying, there are people I don't mess with anymore on Twitter, and the list gets longer. One is people who are into K-pop. I don't mess with K-pop stans. I don't mess with weebs. They're scary. I don't mess with Japanese nationalists. And really, I don't mess with anyone who's into AI. Those guys are also a lot. Can that dude please F off right now? For real though. Straw Money said, they're so bitter. Geez, I live in NYC, so it's a tourist central, and when people visit, they say, oh, Nani could be better here. Oh my god, I love that. Like, here's the thing, because, like, I'm British, right? So, like, we are, like, there are a lot of patriotic British people, but I feel like not so much. And when no one talks shit about Britain as much as British people. So, it's weird for me to meet, like, Japanese people will very rarely talk badly about Japan. Anything, like any small thing, when you're like, like the sandwich thing. Oh, I said like, oh, Mediterranean sandwiches are better than Japanese ones. You can't say that. Like they're not able. Like for them, everything in Japan is better. And I just think like it's really really sad, and it's kind of like brainwashing. And I've taught the Japanese school system, so I know why they think like this, because the Japanese school system is kind of like a little bit brainwashy. And I think in some respects, don't take this the wrong way, but I think it's very similar to the American one, because after World War II, it was set up in like a very similar way. So, like Japan, America controlled a lot of their school system. A lot of it was written up, after the treaty at the end of World War II, and so I think America also has a little bit of answer for that. But yeah, like they learn like this much about world history. And I noticed that all the, like, when they talk about overseas countries, they'll always talk about, like, oh, this Japanese scientist went here and he taught them how to do this. Isn't this amazing? And a lot of it is like, wow, isn't Japan great? And don't get me wrong, Japan is great. But I think whichever country you live in, you need to understand that your country has merits and demerits, and other countries have merits and demerits too. And I think that we should share notes sometimes, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to take everything of every single country, but it's okay to admit, okay, maybe in this country the buses are a little bit better designed. Like, that's okay. You're not betraying your country. I need to be careful. The nationalism goes hard. I think there's honestly nationalists in every country. The deporting you over a simple comparison is not realistic though, right? Honestly, like, no. But I'm not gonna take my chances, like it's like anything else. Like, imagine if these guys, like, mass reported me. Glitch said, yeah, for sure, I would be sure to be a bit careful. This is why I don't say even half the shit on my mind. Probably for the best sometimes, me too. Yeah, there is a black living in Japan YouTuber called Morena. Oh, I know Morena, yeah. Who organized BML protests and got so many death threats. Yeah, you have to be really careful. Like, I know that she particularly had it quite bad. I know quite a few people in Japan that had, like, death threats and stuff like that. You gotta be really, really careful. Oh my god, speaking of K-pop fans, if you know about Wong Youngism, please tell us your thoughts. I'm really, you need to ask Yumechi. I don't know anything about K-pop, but I'm gonna ask her and she'll explain it to me. And maybe you guys too. Pros and cons, anywhere you live, it's only fair to share that someone can weigh in. Yeah, as well, it's like, British people talk shit about England all the time because we want things to get better. Like, here's another thing. Is I think that, like, sometimes people think, and I think this is where it comes from, when we complain online, oh, like, it, you know, like, it takes so long to get this piece of paper, like, I wish instead of faxing it, they would do it electronically. We're not complaining because we're saying we hate this. We're saying, I love this country and I want to see it improved a little bit for everyone's benefit. And here's the thing. That change helps everyone. It doesn't just help foreigners. Like, foreigners aren't saying we specifically want stuff to cater to us. We're saying this thing could help everyone. I think it's like there was a overweight woman on the plane who complained to the plane's company that she wanted the seats made bigger. And people are complaining like, oh, why should we have to make seats bigger just for you because you're overweight when I'm not overweight? It's like, bro, shut up. We're all gonna get bigger seats. Like, this would benefit all of us. Literally, just shut up and we'll get wider seats. But you would rather, like, people are too worried that one person that they don't like will get something good. And so they stopped everyone else from getting it. Someone said, Azek said, speak for yourself, I hate the UK more and more. Yeah, I think since I left, it got even worse. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. Bentley said, I wonder how that guy protesting for Palestine in Japan is doing. Yeah, I actually follow him, and he seems like he's still protesting, and I honestly think that's great. And that's a really good thing about Japan, is that Japan is very pro-Palestine, which is surprising and not surprising, because Japan obviously doesn't like to get involved too much in politics, but also Japan is very anti-war, which is a very, very good thing. Nell said, we have a pub and a shop. That was my hometown in England. I think the biggest problem with England is that it's just boring. Like, my hometown was very, very boring. And I lived in, like, a city. There's just nothing to do. And then they complain that the teenagers all run around and get drunk and smoke weed. And it's like, there's literally nothing else for them to do. Like, of course they're going to be smashing stuff up. Like, literally there's nothing else to do. Luckily now we have video games. So it's like, you can just do that. But Connor said, did you ever go live on YouTube with Yumechi? That would be so cool. We did the last live before this one, which also had like latency issues, and we were also piss drunk, so I don't recommend watching that one. We will do a sober one soon, and it will be the live that you guys deserve. Strawberry said, right, like Tokyo has New York beat on train time and cleanliness, and I don't hate the city because of that. Like, if a working train system exists in a metropolitan city, that raises the bar to other cities. For real, like, the train system here is honestly great. Like, Japan has so many good things, and like, all people do is praise Japan. Like, online, Japan gets so much praise. Like, oh, look, this one thing that you can only find in Japan, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is the thing, like, maybe they're so used to hearing praise that they don't like to hear bad things at all, but like, it's okay to have a balance. Like, you can't just praise something. There are gonna be bad points. Nia said, I live in a conservative town with 80% of its population being old people. Can't do anything. Oh my god. Admittedly though, where I live is like all older people. But like the average age is like, I'm not joking, is like 80. But the next city next to me has lots and lots of like younger people, and it's like a little bit more poppin', so that's good. I can hear my cat scratching on the doors again. But what the fuck are they supposed to do when there's no places for them outside? Yeah, that's a problem I think with European countries, is that there's nothing for like younger people to do. Like, install like more skate parks, more game centers. I think with Japan, the thing is that they're always studying all the time, like, so they don't really have time to go outside. But like, do more stuff for kids to go outside, because like in Japan, like in Tokyo, kids will go to Harajuku and they'll go get a crepe and they'll hang out and they'll just like get some cotton candy or something. So like, there's generally more stuff for them to do. But the problem in England is that there's nothing to do, and I was so bored when I was a teenager, honestly. The loss of third spaces. Oh my god, you're so right. Like, I think that's the issue, is like, there's nothing to do without paying money. Like there's the library, but it's not really a place that you can like hang out. They need to be like a place where people could hang out more, because obviously that's like a shopping mall, right? But then, like, there's no like, there's no like, shopping center, there's no like, restaurants, there's no like, nothing. So like, there's generally more stuff for them to do. But the problem in England is that there's nothing to do. And I was so bored when I was a teenager, honestly. What the security guards would get mad when like we used to like sit on the stairs and stuff like that, but there was nowhere else really for us to go, so that we just go to the park. And what are we gonna do in the park? We're gonna drink. Nia said, it's not a college town for me, but damn, if you don't dress in the norm, you can get tomatoes thrown at you and 50-year-old men harassing you. Yeah, for real. Another thing, in England and in my hometown, if you dress a little bit weird, people will shout stuff at you and they will get aggressive, and that was obviously a problem I had. And when I went back from my dad's funeral, I had coloured hair, and men would just come up to me and say like really disgusting things. I was honestly shocked. Like, that's really one really good thing about Japan, is that people do not generally shout stuff at you. It's really, really nice, and like I don't feel unsafe. Like, again, I have almost nothing but good things to say about Japan. Like, I really, really love living in Japan. I just wish that like Japanese people were a little bit better at taking like constructive criticism, because none of the criticism is like, all of it is constructive. Glitch said, I miss recreation centers. That sounds sick. Alki said, nothing to do here either. The highlight of my teens was a mall having one arcade machine. Oh my god, that was like me for real. I lived outside of London, so I would have to take the train, and it would cost like 20, back then as well, it cost like £20 to get there and back. And we used to just go to Chinatown. That was pretty sick. But in my hometown, there wasn't really anything. We used to just go to the mall and then go to the cinema. And I was lucky. We had a cinema in my town. I thought we were very lucky. Nell said, also in Japan, at least where I am, I noticed there's a big stigma around going to clubs. Like, you're a bad person if you go. Yeah, for real. There's also that too. Like, I did go clubbing the other night, actually. But when, like, I would never say that to my coworkers. Like, I remember I said to my coworker years ago that I went to a cafe, and then she was like, oh, you're such a party girl. And it was just like a cute cafe with my friend. So yeah, there's also like a weird stigma about going out and having fun. Sarah said, there's a lot of cheap places here, like cafes, where you can get cheap drinks, arcades, and cultural things like shrines and temples. Yeah, you were so right. Like, I feel like compared to England, it's a lot more like picturesque. I guess in England, I miss going for like long walks in the countryside. And like, I don't know, looking at some cows and stuff like that. The countryside here isn't maybe as picturesque as England. However, here is like, everywhere looks really cool. Like, honestly, where I live, there's not a whole bunch around here, but even if you go for a walk, you encounter like little shrines, konbinis, little tiny like bars and restaurants. It's really, really cute looking, and I think it's just, in like, again, the big thing is that it's safer. In my hometown in England, I would never just walk around at night. Like, I would definitely be in danger. Gumi said, I always get stares and people talking behind my back just because I dress JK, but like, it's not even that weird. Yeah, honestly, out of all the J fashions that have J fashion, I think JK is not that weird looking. It's basically just like a pink and black blouse and a black skirt and like a little backpack and pigtails. It's not really like, it's not like Decora. Glitch said, guys, I might have a small fever. I hate being sick. R.I.P. me. Yeah, me too. I have a low grade fever as well. Let's get through this together. Sarah said, in London you have museums, but meet with friends to get anything to eat is so expensive. I remember, like, 'cause I used to go to London quite a lot when I lived in England, and the food was too expensive, and museums also had a really long wait and could also be expensive. I do really miss museums though. That's another thing. London has the best museums. The London museums were incredible. Like, there are some good museums in Tokyo, but I feel like London is just way better. Alisa said, all I have are grape fields. Anyone want to steal some shine muscat? That's great though. I don't have any like fields of produce around here that I can steal. I have some like, I have a lot of people with like fruit trees with like mystery citrus fruits growing on them, and I'm always like, I wonder if I could just steal one. Like they have so many fruit in their garden, and I'm 100% sure they're not farming them, so maybe I could just steal one and see what it tastes like. I do love shine muscat though. Oh my god, grapes are so expensive. I wish I could eat some grapes. Nia said, I'm having a tummy ache. Oh my god, why are we all so unwell? Let's all hold hands and get better. I swear to god. Oki said, I want to try Decora at least once. Yeah, for real. There is a resurgence of Decora right now at the Harajuku Fashion Walk. Sometimes they have like a Decora one, and I see a lot more people dressing Decora again, which is good to see. I personally would like to wear it once, but I don't want to like buy 200 hair clips just for one outfit. Luca said, oh my god, yeah, I dress in so many J fashion styles, and July Kate is definitely not that bad. It's kind of a simple style compared to other J fashion styles. I get harassed the most when I wear fairy gay. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of my friends getting harassed when they wear fairy gay. I used to get harassed mostly when I wore Lolita, and people used to shout like little Bo Peep at me and think it's the funniest thing. Like that is the first time anyone has ever had that thought. Like they think they're so funny. F-Law said, mystery citrus trees. Yeah, I want to try it so bad. There's a bunch, and they're different citruses. Japan has a lot of citrus fruits. That's another good thing about Japan. There's a lot of like different citrus fruits that we don't have in England, and I want to try them all. Ozzy Awesome said, edible gardens need to be a thing in everywhere. Yeah, I watched a video about this a couple of years ago, and it blew my mind. Like having like little plots of land where people can grow stuff as a community project and everyone can farm and eat it sounds great. I would love to do that, honestly. I think somewhere where I live particularly would be great for that. A lot of like Japanese people, if they have houses, they also do grow their own produce, like their own eggplants and like green vegetables. Flashy said, I live in a small city in Sweden. Yay, Sweden! I'm gonna go to Sweden this year, watch. And there's literally nothing to do here. I just go home and play games after school. I think, because I considered moving to Sweden in the future, but I think the thing is that there isn't a whole lot of sunlight during the winter. That would be like the only thing for me. But I like playing video games, so I think it would be fine. Nia said, the only cool thing about my hometown is that it has a lot of medieval lore and it's kind of popular. That's sick. Please show us more of this. We want to know more about this. Jessie said, so much of Western fashion is so casual that I feel like the viewpoint can come from a wrong place sometimes when looking at Eastern fashion. Yeah, like the problem is like, for like Western fashion, I feel like there's feminine and masculine, and you have, for women, you have to be directly in the middle, and you can't be too masculine because people think you're a lesbian. You can't be too feminine because people think, I don't know what people's problem was too feminine, but yeah. So I used to always, when I wore like punk, I used to get called a lesbian, and when I wore too feminine stuff, people would also hate that too. So I don't know, you have to be like somewhere in the middle, and it's like really, really oversimplified, and I hate that. Gimme said, I have a tummy ache too. Oh my god, what is going on? Oh no! Like I just got over a really bad stomach bug. I think I still feel a little bit sick now. So let's like just hold hands and get through this together. Now said, clenching my fist, trying not to change aesthetics every 2 to 3 business days. Oh my god, same. That's the biggest problem. I think it's like for me, maybe my ADHD makes me want to try every single fashion, and it really was expensive for me. That's why I try to stick to like black and white and blue and white. And now that I'm just sticking to like these colors, it got easier for me. But before, my wardrobe was like 90% pink, and then one day I decided I didn't really like pink as much anymore. Is it yuzu? Yuzu is so tasty. I think one of them is yuzu, but there is definitely like a mystery one. I don't know what it is. There's like a few different ones. I think one of them might be like mikan or like orange, small oranges. It's a little bit bigger than mikan. I don't know. Japan is a perfect place to experiment with vertical community gardens. Yeah, because normally the schools I worked at, they would have like a net and then they would grow vegetables on it. It was pretty sick actually. Oh my god, I want to see Capsule Bunny punk era. Yay, I used to be like a emo and a scene kid. I've done it all pretty much. I feel like the emo scene kid pipeline to weeb is just like, it's a thing. People expect to appeal to the male gaze, but not too much. That's the thing I had. Like, my mom used to tell me, oh, but like, you won't get a boyfriend if you dress so like effeminate. I'm like, one, I thought that like that was supposed to be what men like. Second of all, I don't give a fuck what men like. Third of all, men will literally put their dick in anything. Like, it doesn't matter how you dress. There'll always be a man ready and willing. So that's been the least of my concerns, quite frankly. Hydration check, everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming back to my stream after the disaster that was the latency. I'm going to try and figure it out and research a little bit more about this bug. I'm really, really happy that we ended up able to talk a little bit more. New question, but opinions on LARPing. I really want to LARP. I've never been able to do it. That's something I really want to do. And one day I want to make a Ren fair in Japan. That's my goal. Also, Olsen said, too feminine means people don't take you seriously. Like, this is something I've had a lot, is like, people tend to not take women seriously, particularly if you do dress more feminine, and it's annoying. Like, at work, it affected me quite a lot where people wouldn't take me seriously, but eventually people start to get the point. I'm also like incredibly rude to people I like my coworkers when they act like that, so eventually if you're rude to them enough times, they start acting right. Men will fuck crocodiles, we will bang anything. Yeah, for real though, like, yeah, we're not gonna get into that right now, but yeah. It doesn't matter how you dress, this is why women choose the bear. Oh my god. So there was also like that massive thought experiment on Twitter. I didn't even see the original tweet, but it was something like, if you're in the woods, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear? And most women chose the bear. And men were really, really annoyed by this. And honestly, I would probably also choose the bear, because I think the bear would probably just leave you alone, and as long as you don't have food on you, and as long as you're not near the bear. But the man would not leave you alone. The man would not stop until he was in your business, until he explained something to you. Oki said, nearly getting done, getting ready, feeling cute. You should send us a pic in the Discord later. Calzone said, been to a LARP even once, it was fun. I really want to go one time, and I feel like LARPing must be a thing in Japan. I know that Japan has a really big thing for like airsoft, like the, not paintballing, but similar to paintballing, and they all like properly dress up. Flower said, yay Flower, you feeling better after being afflicted by the stomach bug? I have a low grade fever, and everyone we went out with that night got sick, so please check yourself. You might have little lad's disease. I told you before, but you gotta stop eating out of every trash can you can see. I'm a rat, that's what we do. It wasn't the trash that made me sick. It might have been the kebab though. Ozzy Osan said it was originally a TikTok. What was the question? I missed the question. Archie's a bear too, not gonna lie. It's not morally questionable to eat the bear. Jesus Christ. I didn't even consider that, but yeah, protein. It also depends on the kind of bear. Like if it's a grizzly bear, I'm less inclined to say yes. If it's a brown bear, I'm kissing him on his little ears. If I can't choose the man, the bear, please. Yeah, like if it's a man I don't know. Like, okay, I'll explain my thoughts on this in a second. Men get angry with women choosing the bear literally proves the point. Yeah, I know, right? I feel like they failed the thought experiment because, like, it was like, oh, women choose something, and we're like, well, men are a little bit scary, so maybe we're gonna go with a bear. And then men are like, no, we're not scary. Why would you choose us? And it's like, you're being scary right now. And a lot of the tweets were like, yeah, well, we could destroy you if we wanted, but we choose not to. So you should choose us. It's like, you're really not helping your case. BB guns, yeah, there's animes about that too. I believe it. Ozzy Osan said, I saw the original and it was a guy who asked women on the street about it after he saw someone muse on another TikTok. Women would rather be in the forest with a bear than a man. Yeah, honestly, if I can't choose the man, I might have to go with the bear. I feel like the bear would just leave me the fuck alone, honestly. And like, yeah. Flower said, oh, was it after the club night? Okay, so yeah, we went clubbing and a lot of people who were at the club night got really sick. So if you were at the club night, you might be sick right now, just saying. Oki said, can I ask for a red panda? No, you can't. That is cheating. Everyone would choose a red panda. Straw Bunny said, we can logically choose an animal we can't even communicate with over a man from our own species. Honestly, it's just like, at my big age, a lot of men have been creepy towards me, and not a lot of bears have been creepy towards me. So I'm gonna have to side with the bears on this one, quite frankly. Like, if we can't choose the man. Oh my god, it's like that movie. Oh my god, what's that movie? God, you gotta help me. There's a movie. It's cool. It's like The Traveler. I don't think it's called The Traveler. It sounds like The Traveler. It's about they're in space. It's that woman from the Hunger Games and Chris Pratt, and everyone's in like a spaceship and they're all in these sleeping pods, and they're in these sleeping pods for like hundreds of years, and they're going to a new planet. But Chris Pratt accidentally wakes up and he's trapped there. He's like, oh god, I'm gonna die here, I'm so lonely. And eventually he falls in love with one of the sleeping women and he unlocks her from her pod. And the man who directed this movie was like, oh yeah, this is really sweet, this is like a romantic movie. But for women who watch this, it was like a horror movie. Like, I don't think men understand how sometimes it's a little bit scary for us to be trapped alone somewhere with a man. Passengers! That's it! I was so close with Travelers. Just get an Akita if you want a bear. I love Akitas. If it's a human bear, then even better. Aztec said, I could qualify for bear status if I was taller. Oh, that's cute. Creepy. That sounds so scary. Oh god, that fucking movie. Yeah, I watched that movie and I was horrified. Like, the whole time I thought it was a horror movie. And then at the end it was like, they lived happily ever after. I was like, I would have killed him and wait, I need to be careful. This is why I keep getting demonetized. I would have not alived him and then not alived myself. No, I would have just not alived him. Fuck that guy. Straw Bunny said, I'm on bear side. A bear will literally leave me alone. A man though, oof, I'm clicking out. Yeah, I feel like the bear would literally just leave you alone. At least a bear would be done with you after the feast. Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like men, like if the bear kills you, he's gonna kill you and then eat you. But the man, he'll like cut you up into like tiny pieces and like make a necklace out of your toes. This particular live is not gonna get monetized, especially Chris Pratt. Yeah, maybe it was Chris Pratt that made it like extra creepy. Ozzy Olsen said, yeah, 196 is me. Jennifer Lawrence screaming, you stole my life. Yeah, like she was on her way to freaking Utopia in her nice little sleeping pod, and Chris Pratt was like, nah, I'm bored, so I'm gonna wake her up. Like, for real. Flashy said, bears are cute and fluffy, so bear is. Like, my toxic trait is, I think I can train that bear and make him into my little pet that I can ride around. He didn't want to wake up. His sleep cycle capsule had a a malfunction. Yeah, I know, it did. But, like, it still doesn't mean you go around waking people up. Jesus Christ. Glitch said, hit me up if you want a small teddy bear, though. Aww, you are kind of like a small teddy bear. You're very cute. Oggy said, he did what? Yeah, honestly, I would say watch that movie. It's a good watch if you watch it as, like, a horror movie. But the ending is, like, I think they should do a director's cut where they refilm the ending and just makes it into her killing him. There are bear keeper shorts on YouTube. They're cute but so powerful. Yeah, bears, honestly, they're like a grizzly bear can kill you with one swipe. And also, a lot of bears will not wait till you're dead to start eating you. And a lot of men were like tweeting this like it's like gotchas. It's like, okay, but like the whole point is that we'd much rather be alone with this scary creature than with you. Like, Ozzy Awesome said, doesn't give him the right to force his fate on someone else. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, that movie made me feel really weird. Oh yeah, I've seen shorts of Chinese panda keepers. Those are really cute, like the panda keepers who are trying to like go and clean the cage but they can't, and because the pandas just want to hug them all the time. Man, why wasn't that my job? At least the bear would leave my dead body alone. Yeah, for real though. Like, the bear's just gonna eat you a little bit, and that's fine. But yeah, I also applied to a bunch of jobs recently. I'm still looking for a new job. My job now isn't bad, but I just want to have a little bit of a level up. So I want to talk about that a little bit next time. I should probably go soon because I believe my dinner is going to be ready. And I'm really sorry that I messed up so hard during the start of the stream with like the latency issues. I'm going to figure it out. I'm only going to use the Ethernet cable from now on, but I'm pretty sure it's like a bug. I'm going to, in Discord, post the bug or like the thing that came up, and maybe we can figure it out together. I feel really bad. Pian. Yeah, applying for jobs is really hard. I applied for a tourism job, and I applied for one at Kojima Industries, which I'm definitely not gonna get. So like, here's hoping. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get some food. Thank you so much for coming to my live. I'm gonna stream real soon, probably in 2 days, and I want to start streaming Yakuza from 1. I keep messing up. Streaming from 0 up to the new one. So yeah. Thank you for coming to my stream. Again, I'm really sorry. I'm literally so embarrassed. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Ozzy Awesome, for donating. You made me feel much better about being stupid. I love you guys so much. Have a good evening / morning / afternoon. I love you guys so much. Bye, guys. Oh, arigato. Thank you so much for coming. Oh my god, that's a lot. Thank you. I will try so much harder next time the latency issues. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ozzy Awesome. Oh my god, thank you. I love you guys.